Well, Aldrin, it's been a serious legal tussle between the state and 8 accused in this matter. We must remember this involves former Department of Agriculture official heads, 3 of them that were HODs then when this tender was awarded to Nulane Investments. We're talking about the 25 million rands that was awarded to the company that is owned and controlled by Iqbal Sharma. Iqbal Sharma is a Gupta associate in this matter, and we've heard many times when we were in court that the state has been trying by all means to show that there were irregularities of the awarding of this tender. This matter dates back from 2011, 2012, whereby the Department of Agriculture, of course, appointed Nulane Investments to conduct a feasibility study on basis that the Nulane investment had unique skills. This matter is linked or relates to the Estina Dairy Farm project. As a result, some accused on this matter are also on the Estina matter. I'm talking about Peter Tabete amongst others, as well as Dimakazo Murosi. Now, Aldrin, I want to take you back now when on the events that occurred during the trial of this matter. This is when we saw some state witnesses that came forward, more than 15 of them. Some are still the officials of the Department of Agriculture, whereby they were providing evidence thereof as to what really transpired between 2011 and 2012, whereby they were showing invoices and the contract that binded the two, which is the department and the Nulane Investments. This is where now we also saw the NPA's evidence. It was said in court that they relied on the evidence that they relied on copies, rather. That would be a copy of invoices and the copy of the contract binding Nulane, as well as the Department of Agriculture. As a result, the defense maintained that this case, rather, it's unfair for the investigation, or rather the trial, to continue, as there's no enough evidence that links the accused to the contract that took place. Also, they said the investigating officer, which is Mandla Mtolo in this matter, rather coached the witnesses that took the stand to give evidence as to what really transpired in this matter. We heard many of legal representatives, from Peter Tabete's ones to Iqbal Sharma, Ronika Ragavan, to when they were taking the stand, they would say that this matter rather lacks authenticity, and therefore that's when they went as far as applying for the charges against, of course, the accused to be dropped. As a result, we also heard in court that Peter Tabete's charge of violating the PMFA was rather dropped. And Aldrin, not long ago, just last month now, when the judgment of this matter was handed down, we heard from Nompumelelo Gusha, of course, all the charges against them were dropped because there was no sufficient evidence. But surprisingly, one would ask as to how did that lead to such judgment, because the state always maintained that they have a strong case against all the accused, because they were raising factors such as that during the time of the appointment of Nulane Investments, it was when there was no tax certificate of the company, which is Nulane, and also there was no company profile, there were no banking details, but we saw 12 million rand being paid to Nulane Investment even before anything happened. So those were just some of the evidence that was brought forward in court by the NPA, saying that they maintain they have strong evidence against the the accused. However, we heard also on the sidelines Dr. Demakato Morosi, who is a former official of Department of Agriculture and is an accused in this matter. She has indicated that she will pursue in suing, of course, the state, because as they always maintained that there is no evidence that links them to the said project that didn't take place.
Well, and of course, the judge also saying that there was no evidence whatsoever that was shared in the court against Demakato Morosi. But tell us about the other then accused. Are they pursuing any charges? Are they pursuing any lawsuit against the state?
They've always said that this was a waste. This case was rather wasting their time, and saying that, of course, going forward, there should be serious consequences, because they must remember that there were terms and conditions placed for the accused not to be outside the country. And as we know, the Gupta associates in this matter, which is Iqbal Sharma, Ronika Ragavan, Dinesh Patel, it's people that would travel in and out of the country. Not long ago in court, we even heard Iqbal Sharma wanting his bail condition to be relaxed so that he can move in and out of Johannesburg, citing that, of course, the business now is losing, because now they are, of course, forced to be in one place. But they've always maintained that this is a waste of time. One can imagine that these people are located in Johannesburg, but through that 3-week long trial, they were supposed to be here in Bloemfontein, as they were appearing every day in court, and that would mean now the cost of the flights and cost of the legal representatives, them sleeping at the hotels, that one would understand why would they want to pursue on suing the state in this matter.
And now let's go to the decision now that has been taken by the independent, the investigative directorate, that it will now appeal that decision by the High Court. Did they furnish any reasons why they believe that the judge erred in her sentiments, as well as the conclusion that the charges against the accused be discharged?
Well, the statement was rather vague. What they only indicated is that they are intending to appeal this matter, but the media statement didn't have so much of information thereof. However, we've heard from them, especially the spokesperson, Sindisiwe Sebuka, the investigating directorate spokesperson, indicating that now all the reasons as to why would they appeal this matter, it will be ventilated on the media briefing that is scheduled sometime this week. I understand that's when now they will iron out as to why they think they still have a legal standing, and also saying that they can always overturn the decision that was taken by the High Court to drop charges against all the accused.
And final one is, with the experts that you've spoken to, what's their take on how the state has handled this case, and perhaps in the future, because a lot of people are looking forward to the prosecution of some of the accused, because this was the first state capture case to be before the courts, and of course the state has failed to convince the court why these accused are guilty beyond any reasonable doubt. But what's the experts saying about how the state managed this case?
Well, experts have rather weighed in, saying that it's important for the NPA to have sufficient evidence when it comes to this matter, and they were indicating that this matter was weakened by the evidence that was brought forward by the state, which were copies thereof, because that's when we heard in court the defense rather arguing the issue as to where are the original copies of the contract that is binding the two, the invoices were also, were not originals, and as a result, though that evidence was admitted by Judge Nompumelelo Gusha provisionally. So the legal experts have been saying that it's quite very important that the investigation should be robust when it comes to the evidence that they would bring before the court of law and say this is how we are linking the accused with this matter. And also on the ground, the sentiments that were shared, Aldrin, people seem to be very disappointed on this matter. As you have correctly said, that it's just one of those state capture trials whereby people would want to see that really the NPA or the investigative directorate is doing wonders in terms of making sure that all what has been said and done in the state capture and now justice prevails for the state coffers money, and also to make sure that all those that are involved face the full might of the law. But I can indicate to you confidently to say that people have been very disappointed with how the NPA or the state has managed to, control this case in particular, saying that they should have done better, given that this matter has been long going and there's been a lot of postponements thereof. They would come confidently in court that they have sufficient evidence to make sure that justice prevails.